Shabbat Shalom, welcome to Aura Color. I'm going to read into the color of the week, but first let me share that Balak, which is this chapter of Numbers that we're entering into, is quite a crazy story. It starts off with the king of the Moabites, Balak, calling on Balaam, who is a prophet, not a Moabite, not an Israelite, but just a prophet that is out there speaking to God. And he calls him and he says, I need you to put a curse on these Israelites because there's so many of them. And he was fearful. The people were fearful. So Balaam says, stay, let me speak to God. I'll tell you in the morning. And 3 times he checks in with God. And with each time, instead of a curse, he brings blessings because that's what God tells him to do. So these blessings weren't necessarily what this person intended to bring, but he was instructed by God and he brought them. In fact, one of them is Ma Tovu, how goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling place, O Israel, a phrase that we still recite in the services today. Chapter has a twist. It goes on. The people, the Israelites, they end up fraternizing with the Moabites, and a plague is set upon them. And at the end, a zealot, Pinchas, ends up killing one of the Israelite men and the woman that he had been fraternizing with, and the plague goes away, but 24,000 people died as a result of having the immoral kind of lust that led them to stop practicing their faith in the way that they'd been instructed. So lots going on, and let's see what the cards have to say. Shuffle them a couple times. We're looking at the deeper wisdom that we can get from this week's Torah, Balak. And I'm going to just break them into mind, body, heart. And we're going to climb the mountain. So the energy we come into this week with, the energy that we need to bring into this week's Torah, the lesson of this week's Torah, how to carry that lesson into our life, and the outcome from this week. So first, we come into this week's Torah with a sense of loving. Interesting. Not sure what to make of that. Certainly God was loving us, so we were recipients of God's love and care, and that led to blessings instead of curses. The energy that we need to get the lesson from this week's Torah is to begin the journey of releasing the difficult emotions that are coming up for us, so that we can be free from the feelings that hold us back. That's interesting. The lesson of this week's Torah, it makes a lot of sense. So what is a blessing? A blessing is a gift that we receive from God that we must be grateful for, like the grapes that we bless with the brachas that we make on Shabbat. So this card asks us to recognize the gifts in our lives and orient ourselves towards the blessings that come to us. How to do that, how to bring that orientation of looking for just even one small gift, we do that through creating a practice that allows for us to live into the mitzvot. So in this case, maybe you need to light your Shabbat candles and have that glass of wine and say what you're grateful for, the small things, the big things. That type of commitment that you make will bring a greater sense of fulfillment in your life when you can recognize the blessings that you're receiving. And ultimately, the outcome that we receive from this week's Torah portion is that it leads us to reflect upon who we are and where we're heading in our life. So I wish you all the opportunity to really recognize the gifts that you receive and to have a wonderful Shabbat full of radiance and reflection. Shabbat Shalom.